Alright, we're about to get underway here for T1 Austria, round 4 of clear cut racing. Let's go. While we wait for all the drivers to load in. Alright, there we go. So we await to see who's the first person out. It looks like one of the Aston Martins. Followed by an Alfa Romeo. It is PJRS as he's the first one out. I've just been told it might be a wet race. That is not good. So I think qualifying matters here. Alright, thank you. So every driver will be wanting to get as high up as possible in the starting lineups, because obviously if it's a wet race then it's going to be quite hard to overtake. But watch the Aston Martin on its first run of the session. Heads up the second DRS straight. Nice exit in turn 3. It's looking good so far. Once again, another perfect apex. Also got AN out on a lap, just behind PJRS. There's a lot of drivers start to come out. Second fastest sector 2 from AN, so looks like a very strong lap. Although he keeps that in, surprisingly. There's a 1:04.2, and that is a very strong time to start off qualifying. You did have a 1:05 from the Aston Martin, who we were watching earlier. Again, a good time, but I think it might need to be improved if he wants to get through to Q2. It's the McLaren rounds the final corner. Although he did invalidate that lap, unfortunately. Move on to the Williams. .1044 for some second. Again, a good opening lap. What else do we have? Do have Bashi just finishing a lap. See, that's the time, what time he gets. So 1039. Okay, very strong. I think he should be safe for now, unless other drivers can come out and beat the time. See who's on a lap. Okay, it's Jericho here. He's on the mediums, so different strategy here, trying to qualify to Q2 on the mediums. Did he invalidate the lap or not? Let's see. He didn't. 1042 on the mediums. That is a very good lap. Very good lap indeed. Invalidation. So a lot of drivers struggling to actually keep their car on the track. Getting quite a few invalidations so far as the McLaren goes into the pit. So again, I'm guessing another invalidation. Yeah, wet Austria is going to feel like a pretty long race. It is a fast track, but who knows? We shall see. We shall see. You gotta watch the McLaren on here. Going through to turn 4 and turn 5. No spinning on that corner. It's looking good. Again, keeps it in. Although he did just invalidate that on the last corner. Unfortunate. Who else do we go for? The Haas. Yeah, I think the Haas is on a flying lap. Well, he validates that on the last lap, on the last corner as well. Seems to be a tricky one, this the third sector for a lot of drivers. Okay, he's not on an out lap. Validated again. So a lot of drivers really are struggling to put a lap in here. See if PSC's on a lap here. Potentially. Go as wide as possible into this corner. It's pretty nice. I think that was a purple sector 1. Strong start. So it's looking like a very strong lap from PSC here. Let's hope he doesn't invalidate on the last lap like a lot of drivers have. And he somehow manages to keep it in. He goes to a 104.2. That puts him in 5th. So a lot of drivers around the same kind of 104.3 mark here. Only 2 drivers so far on, never mind, 3 drivers, sub 4 seconds. Benitez just goes P2 with a 103.9. Strong lap. We'll watch Bashi here. He's 2/10 up in the second sector. Is he hoping to improve his time? So 103.5. Very, very strong lap there. I think that should be fine for Q1. I don't see many drivers getting to that mark. It is extinct, it is. Jericho here on the mediums again. Interesting strategy here. Oop. He's playing because he just managed to stay out of the way. See what time this gets. And he's just a 10th slower. Unfortunate. Only 7.5 minutes left of qualifying. And there are still 5 drivers who have yet to make a lap. It'd be Ryan, Colette, Hemi, Nightstar and Plain Cookie. And looks like Rohan has retired from the race, so maybe he's feeling confident that will get him through, but at the minute we're not sure. He might have DNF'd as well. Who knows? 2/10 up though, PSC. And Stefano Corner keeps it in. And he goes P2 with a 103.9, 3/10 faster. Very impressive lap. I doubt we'll see the leaders out for another lap here, as I think they can confidently say they are through. Especially with a sub 4 seconds. Very impressive. It's Paul here, 7/10 slower. 3/10 up though. Walker. Let's watch this lap. Three and a half through sector 2. It's looking strong. Just gets a little bit of oversteer off that curb, and he doesn't validate on the last corner. It would have been a 104.4, which means it would have been 3/10 faster. Unfortunate though. We'll have to make another go if he's unsure whether he'll get through. Go around with one of the back markers, not back markers, people haven't set a time yet. Colette seems to be on a lap. He sends it into turn 6 and 7. Myers is not invalidate on turn 8. It's looking like a very competitive lap here. .104.7. That does put him 13th, so he's fine for now. But he will be in a spot of bother because that might not be safe by the end of Q1. But who knows? We'll go with the Mercedes. He massively goes over the curb, but I don't think that's an invalidation. So somehow he's kept it on the track. And again, though it is a 104.9, so he is still in the danger area, the bottom 5. The only driver not to make a lap so far is Plain Cookie in the AlphaTauri. Let's watch them and see if he can improve or at least get a time on the board. 4 minutes left of qualifying to go. Here we go. Beautiful exit there, turn 1. In my opinion, is the hardest turn on this track, so looking good. Colette is actually into 9th, looking at the times now, so must have improved that time. Impressive, impressive. That does put him out of the bottom 5. So we'll follow Plain Cookie into the final 2 corners. Wondering where they'll come on the leaderboard. Yeah, it's not looking too great. Down in 17th there. Both the McLarens are out of the top 15. The Mercedes is 3/10 down. We'll follow May, who seems to be a 10th up. But both those McLarens will be wanting to get through to Q2, I'm sure. So, not looking great for them. We do have 2 minutes left though, so I think we should be seeing a lot of drivers who are unsure whether they're going to get through or not coming out to make a final run. Beautiful exit there. Swings it into the final 2 corners. Tries not to invalidate here. It's looking good to me. 104.5, just on the cusp. It's going to be close. If any of the bottom 4 drivers, Paul, Gadowan, Walker, Plain, Cookie and Milos, can they get out of the top 5 and knock May out? Or will they be safe? Let's follow the Mercedes here. Nope, 2/10. We'll see, will they make another run here? Eight tenths down, unfortunately, so I don't think they'll be making a lap now. They may try again. And Cookie, not again. Oh, Walker's on one now. 2.5 tenths quicker. That would see him out of the bottom 5. It's 3/10 faster with a 104.4 on the cuff. May and Plain Cookie are out, as they will not get the chance to go again. We've got some drivers here. Paul seems to be nearly done, although he is only a 10th up. This could still get through. He does, 10th, 3.5 tenths faster, so that must have been wrong. With a 104.2. Very, very good time for Q1. do see Walker, who's a tenth slower unfortunately, and just invalidates that lap. So they are out. Gadawan goes into the pits because he knows he's through. And that concludes Q1. Very, very close times, I think. From P5 all the way down to 13th, just covered by 4 tenths. You see 9th and 10th are only 1,000th of a second off. So, yeah, very close Q1. This should be an interesting race, I'm sure. Here are the standings going into Q2 here. We've got Bashi in first, PSC, Elvanidis, Jericho in fourth, on the mediums as well, so very good. Hemi, Noise Job, Cacho Silva, Folly, AN54, Paul K, and then the bottom 5 are Nightstar in the McLaren, Gadawan in the Alpha Tauri, Colette, oh no, this is Q1. They're still all in. The bottom 5 actually are Walker, May, Rohan, Plain and Voter Kick in the Mercedes at the very bottom, 1.3 seconds off P1. I would consider that a very close Q1. Now I was told earlier this should be a wet race, so well, dry to wet. So it'll be very interesting to see what strategies people start on, whether they want to start on the softs or whether they will try and qualify to Q3 on mediums. If there is rain coming, we don't know how many laps into the race it will arrive. But I'd imagine if it's pretty far along, you want to stay on the mediums, so then you can go straight onto the inters. Or even the full wets. A few drivers come straight out of the pits. Both the Alpines. Eager to get a lap in. Yeah, I know. Just gonna watch the first driver out of the pits, which is AN54. Starting on the softs, only 3 drivers so far choosing to pick the mediums, although maybe some might switch towards the end. Watch the Alfa Romeo on this first lap. See if it can set a high bar for the other drivers to achieve. Nice turn 1 there. Bit of oversteer there into turn 3, but not enough, I don't think, to destroy the lap. We do have a couple of drivers moving out of the way, going into turn 3. I do have a lot of data off. Let's turn that on. Doesn't validate on the final corner. The final corner has been pretty tricky for a lot of drivers so far, especially in Q1. definitely struggled. What's Jericho? Oh, nice. Nice job. Goes a 104.3 on the mediums. We got Colette on a 104.4. PJRS 104.6. Some good lap times. Watch the Williams out on the mediums. I'm not going into 7th gear to the very end. Oh, it's a pretty slow lap, I think. Yeah, not very competitive at all. 108. Fastest sector 3 though. So the pace is there. Any other drivers on the lap? Elvanida seems to be. With the fastest lap of a 104.1. It's interesting to see which drivers are choosing to go into the mediums, or at least wanting to stay on the mediums for Q2. Validated that on turn 1, unfortunately. Maybe we'll see Jericho though on the lap. He was P3 in Q1, so let's see where he comes out. Oh, and he spins. Just touches the curb going into turn 6. And loses the front end, I think. Unfortunate for Jericho. Watch Hemi on the mediums. See what he can do. Fastest sector 2. It's looking like a really good time here. Fastest lap with a 3.8 on a set of mediums as well. Very, very impressive. I think he'll be very happy with that. So we have 5 drivers wanting to do Q2 on the medium so far. Interesting to find out what the strategy is for the race. Whether it will be onto the mediums and then maybe even the inters if it's a wet race, or the rain might come soon enough that you'll be able to stay on the softs. 104.2 goes P4. a 4.2. So a lot of the medium runners are doing pretty well so far. Staying near the top. As AN comes across the finish line in a 1.44. Still a pretty good lap, but not fast enough to catch the medium races. So P9 for him. We'll watch Jericho as he's about to start his his lap. He did do one previously, but invalidated it, and then he span entering turn 6. So we'll see how this one goes. To me, it looks like a pretty good lap. He's not invalidating anywhere. He's not touching any curbs like last time either. So looking very competitive. I'm going to say top 3, if not, yeah. Okay, second to the 103.9, just under 4 seconds. Which is a very good lap. Albonidis. Does improve by only a 10th, so he stays where he is. Still got a long time to go in Q2, so still lots of time for the drivers to improve their times. As most drivers have gone to the pits now. As it stands, Bashi is the only driver not to have come out. So I wonder what he's planning. But a lot of the medium runners have got pretty good times. So yeah, good job from them. Oh, Night Star is the only driver on an outlap. Or a lap at all. He's currently P8 at the moment, so I think he'll be looking to improve that. At least top 5 hopefully, and then should be good. If he's aiming for Q3. Bashi is finally leaving the pits on a set of mediums. Interesting strategy. His Night Star starts his flying lap. Perfect exit from turn 1. Up the hill. Let's see how turn 3 turns out. Pretty nice, if you ask me. This is looking like a very strong lap. It does go a little bit too far on that curve there. Because he managed to keep the car stable. .105.4, that is not great at all. So he will not improve. We will follow Bashi here though. On his first flying lap on a set of mediums. I'd imagine he's hoping to get top 3 to stay close to Jericho. And Hemi is also on a 103.8, so looking to beat that as well, I'd imagine. .1038. That goes to P1 by only half a tenth. So good job from Bashi there. You'd only have 2 minutes left of qualifying, so yet again we'll see all the drivers who are hoping to make it through to Q3 go out for one more lap. Let's follow Night Star. He's a 10th up, so very good time. See where he pops out here. You have Colette behind him on a flying lap as well. We'll go to him afterwards. 2 tenths faster, but up to 6th place. Good time. So Colette also goes 3 tenths fastest and goes right underneath Night Star into P7. It's quite close, I think. Q2. It's looking very good so far. Colette is actually 2 tenths up after the first sector, so maybe he's doing another lap. We shall see. And that is the end of Q2, so any drivers not on a lap now will be eliminated, will not get the chance to go again. As he sticks it into the last 2 corners, keeps it in, stays where he is, and he goes half a tenth quicker. Puts him in P7, which is still good. Only one driver can who's trying to stay out is going 3 tenths quicker, so he might be able to push his way just outside of Q2. That would knock PSC into the bottom 5. But he invalidates that lap, and he would have gone a 104, so I would have put him in 5th place. Unfortunately, invalidates it though, so he will not improve, and he will stay down in 14th. And I think that concludes Q2. So very close here. All drivers within 7 tenths of each other now. The bottom 10, so from 5th downwards, are within 5 tenths of each other. So very close. So the top 10 are Bashi, Hemi, Jericho in 3rd again, Folly in the Ferrari, Alvanidis, Nightstar, Colette, Paul, Nice Job and PSC, and the 5 people who are eliminated, Ryan. So the entire field separated by only 7.5 tenths. Very close. But quite a few drivers getting into Q3 on the mediums. We've got 6 in total. So they will be starting on the mediums. I think they are relying on the fact that they can switch to intermediates if this will become a wet race around halfway. They're hoping that they can stay on the mediums and then go straight to the inters. And I'm guessing they're banking on the fact that the softs may not be able to go that long. If the rain is later in the race, they will have to pit before, which means the medium runners will get the advantage. Ooh. Bit of a DRS, or not a DRS train, just a train of F1 cars to come out of the pits. It's the Haas, the McLaren, the Alpine, and Mercedes. Oh, don't forget the Alfa Romeo at the back. The first 4 drivers will start their lap now. We have Bashi out first. He doesn't validate though into turn 1. Unfortunate. Night Star gets a bit of oversteer there. And that will definitely not help at all. Especially in Q3. So follow on Jericho here then. He went faster. Yep, Bashi letting Jericho by as he invalidated his lap. I imagine he'd go again. As qualifying position will matter in this race if it's a wet race. It's quite hard to overtake in wets from personal experience. Jericho doesn't validate that lap, unfortunately. We'll follow Colette. With a 104.5 goes above Night Star with a 105.7, so a second between them. But Folly out of nowhere with a 103.8, so a very good lap from him. I think I'll be happy with that. Although I don't think that'll be enough for pole position. He is, however, on provisional pole. Follow Bashi as I think he's on another lap. Oh, he invalidated it, unfortunately. So a lot of drivers struggling so far. Jericho must have gone a lap afterwards and got a 103.6. Very impressive there. A good starting lap. And we'll see who else we can follow. Night Star maybe on one. Although he's looking a bit behind here. So I imagine yeah, I think he's pretty behind. About 5 seconds maybe. We'll follow Paul, who, without me seeing, is invalidated on turn 1. So a lot of drivers are definitely struggling with track limits here. With it being such a high-speed track. That will follow Hemi. Doesn't invalidate at turn 1. It's a very, very strong start. As a lot of drivers have invalidated at turn 1 there. Fastest sector 1, if my telemetry is correct. PSC gets a 1:08.5. I don't think that's an official lap. He may just be going again. Although Hami also spins on the same part as Jericho did in Q2, and that will be his lap over. Very treacherous that turn 6. It's taken a couple of drivers so far already during qualifying. Watch Bashi now. Hemi is going again by the looks of it, so unfazed by the spin and the tyre wear. He's just going to go again. Riding into the final 2 corners now. From what I've seen, this could be a very strong lap, could even be pole position. Just has to keep it in, and he does. And it is pole position with a 1:03.4. So Hemi, out of nowhere, goes only half a tenth behind him. So it's a very competitive lap times here. Separated by just a few tenths of a second. PSC dives into the pits. Must have made an error on his lap. And he will probably go again as a 1:08. Probably isn't going to get him very high up the standings. The only driver on a lap, but I don't think he is on a lap. So just taking it slowly, I think. Nightstar's about to start a lap, so I think all the other drivers are going to head into the pits. Apart from Paul, we may just go again. Back end went a little bit there from what I saw, but still fine. 3 minutes left of qualifying. Folly lets him past. Beautiful exit. And now for my favourite 2 corners on the track, where everyone seems to invalidate. Well, not everyone. Nightstar's one of them. Invalidates on the final corner. And he did go a tenth up, so he would have been into P5, I think. But no, invalidates it. Folly and Alvanidis both starting a lap right next to each other. Elvin decides to back out and let Folly past. And he will probably go around again. However, I think they might have had a little battle on the start finish straight, so he may have lost a little bit of time out of that. I'd imagine so. Because fighting someone while doing a qualifying lap isn't look like you're going to help your time at all. So we'll see what he gets. We do have Jericho behind him on a lap with PSC just in front. I think he stays P4. He does go a tenth and a half faster though. See Jericho a little bit faster, but not quite enough to reach Hemi and Mashi's times. Now PSC did go 4.8, must have improved to time, but still not good enough to anywhere near the top 5. Just about a second off. And he did just invalidate that, so PSC is not having a good time. Not having a good time at all. Just that Albanidis is on a lap right behind him. PSC hopefully is not going to hold them up, as Q3 is over now. All drivers seem to be on a lap here. As Albanidis does invalidate. Folly goes a little bit wide from what I saw. Let's see the times here now. Colette cannot improve, neither can the McLaren. See Paul here. Improves a little bit, still 8th though. Jericho cannot improve either. But Hemi can, with a 103.3 to put himself in first. Hemi's had a brilliant qualifying on the mediums, to start on the mediums and then go in pole position. Only one driver can beat him now, and that is Bashi, but he doesn't look like to be on a lap because he's invalidated it. So I think that concludes Q3. The top 6 are all sub 4 seconds, with 7th, 8th and 9th all really close to each other. Unfortunately, PSC does not look to have had a great qualifying, as he is 8 tenths off the person in front of him. But he does start 10th, so that's still a good time. Now on to the most exciting bit, the race. I'll say it again if anyone new has arrived. I've been told this is going to be a dry to wet race. I'm not sure how long into the race the wets are going to arrive, if they are at all. But a lot of drivers are going to be hoping to switch onto the intermediates straight off their starting tyres. And yeah, so let's go through Q3. Hemi starts in pole with a 103.3. Bashi only 2 tenths behind. Jericho down in 3rd. We've got Folly in 4th. Nice job in 5th. Elvanidis in 6th. Colette in 7th. Paul in 8th. Knight start in 9th. And PSC down in 10th. Now 6 of those drivers in Q3 they qualified on mediums in Q2, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the bottom 10 decides to do with the starting tyres, whether they will stick with the ones that they qualified on as well, or whether they will change them to mediums, softs or hards. We will see. But very exciting qualifying. One of the best ones I've seen in a long time. Very, very close. Even from Q1, they were all within a second. So I'm excited to see what this race holds. The drivers do start the formation lap now. We have to see what tyres. So quite a mix here. Wow. Only 8 drivers choosing to go on the softs. The rest of them are in mediums. My guess is hoping to switch onto the wet tyres. But yeah, AN and PJRS seem to have been qualified from formation lap, so they will be reset back to the grid. Not sure what happened there, but they may have crashed. We don't know. The strategy was medium to hards, or soft to mediums, but that doesn't factor in the wet race, so not very helpful there. We'll head back to Hemi. Interesting though, we do have the Mercedes in 3rd of Jericho and his teammate down in 20th, so interesting to see what their strategy is. Most teams having one driver in the top 10 and the other down in the bottom 10, apart from Ferrari and Alpine by the looks of it. So both teams doing pretty well during qualifying. As we await the lights. Five lights, and away we go. Bashi getting a good start. It's, oh dear, Hemi and Bashi go out, hit each other. All 3 drivers had to go wide, and Bashi's down in last. Massive incident here at turn 1. As Elvanidis tries to sneak his way up into 3rd, he manages to. Keeps the position for now. Quite a few drivers are falling by the looks of it. Looks like the McLaren may have gone around as well. As the Mercedes seems to be holding his position. Oh dear. May has gone into the back of the McLaren. I'm not sure what that was. It looked like Walker slowed down a bit there. Looked like a brake test to me, but I didn't see what happened before, so cannot say anything at the minute. Walker does dive into the pits though. So does Cacho Silva. We'll go back with AN gets a 3-second penalty for track limits. So we'll follow the front 3. And Elvanidis spins on turn 3 and is out of the race. So that is really interesting. and a VSC has come out. What an interesting start to the race. I could not have predicted this at all. A turn 1 incident with Bashi and Hemi, which I'm sure will be reviewed after the race. And Alvanides spins on his own in turn 3 and he is retired from session after his front tyre fell off the car. So Jericho now in third with Colette, or both the Alpines, right behind. As the VSC has ended, DRS is now enabled. Wow, what a start. Colette gets the overtake on Folly. Folly dives down the inside, goes really wide there, and nearly crashes into Jericho, and loses 2 places at the same time to both the Alpines. Once again, gets a little bit wide there. I'd imagine that's a warning. Very hectic start to the race. The grid is already quite split up. We'll go back up to the front 4. Colette has now lost a second to Hemi and Jericho. But remember, some of these drivers are on mediums, so the softs might die pretty quickly around this track, which means the mediums will be the better tyre, at the moment at least. Bashi gets the fastest lap. From spinning on turn 1, he's down to 13th now, so doing pretty well. Ryan, his teammate, gets a 3 seconds. And it looks like the AlphaTauri has spam. So very interesting there. Mercedes is in the pits. See if he has damage. Nope, you couldn't tell, unfortunately. So you'll see Colette in the background there. Jericho is trying to catch up to Hemi. Colette has lost 2 positions. I imagine he went wide. I'm not sure what else happened there. We'll follow him into the DRS range, the DRS straight. Oh, there just seems to be a DRS train for just 3 drivers. Quite a few behind. Hemi and Jericho are off into the distance there. Folly just a little bit of a spin on the back end there. And to go 3 wide. Folly just slips through both the Alpines here. We'll watch from Paul's perspective. Ooh, as Paul tries to make a move around the outside. Colette has to back out of that fight, I think. So lost 3 positions so far in just 1 lap. It's not ideal for Colette. But 2.5 seconds away from Jericho and Hemi. These 2 are absolutely taking off, leaving the rest behind. Well, the midfield is still pretty close. Oh, AN goes into the pits. Let's see what he puts on. A new wing. Must have got damage. He's also gone to the mediums too. Oh, we have a crash. If you can spot the Haas. So that will be a safety car from the Haas as he crashes out in the same corner as the Alfa Romeo did. and that will give Paul and the rest of the field the chance to catch up to Hemi and Jericho. Quite a few incidents so far, the first 6 laps. Only a sixth of the way down. Colette gets a 5-second penalty for colliding with his teammate as he dives into the pits. Let's see what he puts on here. A new wing, although he will sit the 5 seconds, so that's alright. So in the safety car, he won't lose too much time. Jericho is also pit for a set of mediums. So did Hemi. So they are down in 8th and 9th. We'll check the tyre age. 6 laps. Yeah. So 1 to 7 have not pitted. They will stay out on the safety car. We'll follow Paul in P1. Both the Ferraris in 1 and 3, so doing pretty well there. And like I said, and then again we've got both the Red Bulls. Yeah, and they are both the mediums, so pretty good. I don't see any rain clouds apart from the ones maybe in front of us here. So I'm not too sure if this will be a wet race or not. I was told it would be dry to wet. But at the moment, I can't see any rain. It's looking pretty nice out this early morning in Austria. Actually trying to warm the tyres here, I'd imagine. Making sure he has enough traction. He looks to be on controller here, so very impressive qualifying from Bashi. I mentioned he did start P2, Hemi in P1. So all the grid seems to be back up in a line again, and I'm guessing the safety car will go in this lap. So we will we'll watch the safety car restart from Neus's perspective. See what Paul is planning, whether he'll go early or go late. We'll see if he manages to. There we go, safety car in this lap. We'll see if he manages to catch the field by surprise. Paul waiting to go, waiting for that safety car to dive into the pits. Paul hasn't gone yet. Now he has. He catches Neus off guard by a little bit, as he did with the rest of the field, all about 5 tenths away from each other. Bashi sailed past Rohan in the Red Bull. Takes 5th place. Hemi overtakes the AlphaTauri. Jericho trying to make a move on the AlphaTauri here. Going for Turner in the corner, sorry. Nice overtake. AN down in 12th in the Alfa Romeo. Cruising along. He doesn't look to be pushing, so I imagine he's playing the waiting game. Just being dragged along by the DRS train when DRS gets enabled again. 3 seconds again for Walker. Jericho makes a nice overtake. We'll see, 6 seconds for Walker, only 3 for AN. So each driver doing pretty well for track limits. Not what we saw in qualifying. As to go 3 wide down this straight, Hemi gets past PSC. Bashi raced in front. PSC just pull out there. As Hemi does get past Bashi, and we're going to 4th place. DRS is enabled this lap, so we should have it on the hill to climb up to the top of the Red Bull Ring. Jericho's trying to make a move down the inside. He does make it, and he blocks off the inside. Good defending there from Jericho to make sure that PSC cannot get down the inside of him during that turn. All the cars seem to be in quite a DRS straight here, because May looks to have spun out and has kind of lost the field here. So first place all the way down to 9th are currently in a DRS train. Looks like May might have damage here, and I imagine they'd have to go into the pits. So unfortunate there. Yeah. Fortunate there for the Aston Martin, as Paul is comfortably staying in the lead here. Hemi gets an overtake on Folly, because he is on 11 lap old softs, which I imagine their grip is kind of dying away now, as May gets a 5 second into the pit lane for speeding. Not having a great race. Not at all. Yeah, I'd imagine the grip on these softs are kind of dying out now. This is where the mediums will start to come into play here. I wonder what the viewers are thinking watching this race, because I'm interested. This is a really good, really close race so far. As Hemi does get the overtake on Paul. Paul loses 2 places. As Hemi has left Jericho, surprisingly, down in P5. Make the move on Folly. Noise on 12 lap olds, Hemi on 5 lap old mediums. So Hemi should have the grip advantage here. Will Noise defend the inside? No, he won't, and it gives Hemi the chance to claim P1. Jericho is caught though. Also again on those fresher mediums. Well, Noise goes a little bit wide there, trying to get the overtake again. I imagine Jericho will wait till next lap to try and overtake with DRS. This Folly seems to be losing places here. These softs, I'd imagine, are not helping. We see the train. Bashi down in 7th. So all the way down to 8th. Oh! Hemi gets a 3 second for going wide for turn 1. And it looks like the Red Bull span. Fortunately it is just next to the pit lane, so you can just dive into the pits. That's not great. But yeah, Paul just lost 3 places in about 2 corners here. Not sure what's happening. Maybe his tyres are losing grip slightly. I'm not sure. It's all the way down to 9th, Colette. They're in a DRS train here. Both the McLarens down in 10 and 11. Just hanging on. Guess we have another track limits. Jericho into second now. Just behind Hemi. Back to where we started. This race gets pretty quick, and I'm not sure where this rain's coming. It looks like a lot of it. To me, it looks like there's a bit of moisture in the air, but this could just be the graphics I'm looking at. But it's definitely gotten a little bit darker since we started the race. So potentially, wet race is still on towards the end here. We're not even halfway through. As Rohan spins on turn 1, he could be the first driver to get lapped here. He won't. For now, he will stay on track. Jericho and Hemi have lost 2 seconds, nearly 3 seconds, to Noise down in P3. The rest of these guys all in a DRS train, all the way down to 16th by the looks of it. Oh, and here we have the Ferrari sneaking up the inside. Folly on these 15 lap old softs. Surely the grip is gone by now, but no. He keeps going. This Nice reclaims the position. Bashi says howdy. This dives down turn 6. A lot of track limits at the minute. Probably not choosing to pit just yet. Jericho and Hemi are just too fast for the rest of the grid to catch up here. Jericho looks for the move, but backs out of it. Not wanting to make that move. Bashi and Noise are side to side, going into turn 4. Look at all the drivers behind him. So it's pretty close for like half the grid. They're all in this train. Now Bash is going to want to oh my god, it's Jericho's span. No way. He's into 9th place now. I wonder what happened there. Tries to make a move. Wow. Going no too wide. Oh dear. And Jericho takes out the McLaren. It wasn't intentional, I don't think, but he's now down to 4. So not great for him at all. It's the McLaren comes out worse, 7 seconds behind. There's a fight for P2 going on here. Oh, and I think we see a bit of rain. So we were right, a wet race. We'll see who dives into the pits here. No one just yet. I'd imagine if someone goes in, they'll all go in. It just takes one to trigger the event. Let's look at penalties here. Seems to be quite a lot. A lot of drivers. Walker has 12 seconds. May with 11. And then a few drivers on 3s and 6s. The track limits seem to be quite a pain here. Imagine the grip is slow dying on these dries, especially now as it's wet. Oh, keep pressing the wrong thing. Seven seconds behind though, Bashi from Hemi. Will Hemi dive into the pits? Nope, stays out. What about Bashi? Will he trigger? Nope, stays out as well. That's the most of the drivers. Oh no, we have the Red Bull. First driver to make the move. PSC has chosen, I'm imagined, to go to the Inters. No, he picks the soft tyres, as does the McLaren, who comes in just behind. Wow, he goes for a new wing. Interesting. So I wonder what happened there. Maybe it's not enough rain for the rest of the race, and the softs are just better. Folly's still on 19 lap old softs. I'm actually shocked that he's not completely lost grip at this point. Plain Cook is also down on 19 lap old softs as well, as are a few of the drivers on mediums. AN into 4th place with Colette just behind. As Bashi makes the move into the pits. We'll see what tyres he puts on. Whether they will be softs as well, or Inters. Will he be the first driver to put on the intermediate tyres? No, he will not. Keeping the softs. So, imagine what they're seeing. Oh dear. Very slow pit stop there. I won't be that will hurt his time. Let's look at Jericho, who span earlier, just after turn 8. Oh, and I'm not sure when this was, but nice job. It seems to have DNF'd as well. Not sure where. See if we can see the car. Nope, I don't think we can. Oh well. VSC comes out. I'm guessing for the DNF there. Holly's warming up the tyres here. DRS hasn't been disabled yet, so oh, you see a train of 3 drivers here, all coming in on the soft tyre and for a pit stop. Will any of these drivers put on the intermediates, or do they all think that medium tyres? There we go, some drivers are put on intermediates. Yes, Chris, it is raining. It's a dry to wet situation here. It doesn't look too bad at the moment, but 2 of the drivers, the Ferrari and the Williams, have chosen to put on the intermediates. Although 5 other drivers have pitted beforehand and have not put on intermediates. Bashi just pitted and put softs back on, so I don't know. Maybe it's not bad enough yet, they think. Both the Mercedes doing well, 5th and 6th. I think Jericho did spin. Folly still on 21 lap old softs. Absolutely incredible from him. I'm amazed that he's not got a puncture or something. Didn't even know softs could go that long. This Jericho makes the overtake there, and he will try and catch Colette. Oh, his folly makes a little bit of spin, but he does save it. And he will only let one driver past. That'll be the Mercedes. I'd imagine it's time for Folly to pit now. AN at 9 seconds away from Hemi. 1 second away from Colette, so comfortably in P2 here. It doesn't seem to be raining that badly, although it does seem to be getting worse. As Aston Martin comes into the pits. See what tyres he puts on. Oh, safety car for the McLaren, who's gone off at turn 10. The Aston Martin did put on mediums, so quite a few drivers still thinking that it's not intermediates time. Well, no, the McLaren disagrees with me. He's put on intermediates. Fairly sure that this is the first wet race of the season. So interesting indeed. We'll see Paul past the safety car. The Aston Martin stays on the softs. Yes, I agree, Branko. I think now is the time for Inters, and a lot of the drivers are agreeing. Although Hemi has put softs back on again, so he doesn't think Inters are worth it. Neither does AM. A lot of the drivers don't, actually. So who knows what their strategy is. Maybe it's not bad enough for intermediates. Just say Jericho head out of the pits here. This is a really peculiar race. A complete mix of strategies. Yeah, that's true. It's not actually raining that heavily. It's only a little bit. But I'd imagine it gets worse. So maybe dry tyres are the right call for now, but it could get worse. Which means, you know, it won't help. Yeah, and I agree with Barenko. I think not every driver can just forget to put intermediates on. I think it's obviously a strategy, and a lot of the drivers think that dries are still the way to go. Only 3 drivers have chosen intermediates. I did see 4 at one point, but they may have gone back onto the dry tyres after realising their mistake. Potentially. See Rohan here, a lapped car. So interesting. These tyres are going to need warming up a lot more than the dries though, so a bit of work cut out for him. Colette is still on 18 lap old mediums, so everyone else seems to have pitted in the last 5 laps or so. He has chosen to stay out. Maybe he thinks he can do 29 laps on mediums, or he's waiting for the rain to get a little bit worse. Because at the moment, light them up is correct. It's only really spitting, so maybe there's no needs to put on the slick tyres. Well, I'm not sure what he's planning. I'd imagine he will get jumped. Apologies, I had to sneeze. Yeah, I mean, Folly went 22 laps on soft tyres before pitting, so maybe these mediums can last a lot longer. I'm not sure, we can't obviously tell what tyre where he has at the minute. But Rohan might cause some problems here for Hemi and Bashi. As they'll have to get past him if he doesn't ghost to reach Colette. And maybe it's the wrong strategy. There's only 9 laps left. You think? You think it's going all the way? Yeah, I think he might actually. Yes, he started on softs. So he's already had his one pit stop. So he might be going all the way, because if Folly can do 22 laps on softs, I imagine Colette can do another 9 on mediums just fine. Although the soft runners will have a lot more grip. So yeah, wait to Colette's race start. When will he choose to go? He's gone now. Rohan out of the way, letting all the cars past. Interesting. He may have helped Colette here, because I think the game will tell us when intermediates are needed, because I'd imagine DRS will get disabled when that happens, and we'll get the message for it. So I think at that point is when a lot of drivers will may consider intermediates, but for now they're sticking with the tyres they've got. Colette does get overtaken. Yeah, I agree. Good sportsmanship from Rohan there. Knows he's lapped and decides to just let every car past rather than interrupting with the race. So respect to him there. Some selfless behaviour. Bashi overtakes Colette. These mediums are looking pretty slow. We'll see if PSC can get past. Maybe going around the outside here. Just have to go wide. Oh. Well, they go 3 wide into this corner. Colette gone down from 1st to 5th. His tyres must have not had enough grip. Second penalty there for Walker, as Rohan does retire in the pits, but he comes back out on track. I don't think that's avoidable. I think if you retire in the pits, you come out on track anyway. Who knows? Virtual safety car does come out though. I'd imagine for Rohan's car. Should pit now. He's chosen not to. He wants to go those 6 laps, which he can very well make, but will he lose a lot of time because the drivers behind him are on a lot fresher tyres. Watch Jericho here. You can see the track getting a little bit more wet at the moment as Gadawan spins, and Cacho Silva seems to have a drag through. That will not help. Now it looks like Gadaway may have retired on track. Yeah, I agree, Chris. I think he is waiting to for everyone to put the intermediates on. He's down in 7th now, though, losing a lot of time. And I think Gadawan did actually retire on track, unless he crashed, but it didn't look like it. It's PGRS crashes. Paul realising his mistake, I think, and changing the tyres. Let's see if... Oh, he's just serving his drive-through, never mind. But yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen with the whole AlphaTauri thing, retiring on track. We'll see. Anyway, back to Bashi and Hemi. 3 seconds. The gap between them. I'll watch Folly as he tries to go down the around the outside of Jericho. Makes the move. Drivers just look like they're starting to slip here now. Looks like the traction's not what it used to be. There's PGRS spin again. Switch to penalties. Okay. 3 seconds. I'd say he's already done it. So if he can just keep at that pace the rest of the race, unless another safety car comes out, he should be good. I think it's a bit late now to switch for inters. I think everyone's just gonna try and don these dry tyres, because if you pit for inters now, I don't think you can make the 20 seconds back up. Back to tyres now. So Hemi is currently P1, even with a penalty. Airlock may have spun. Oh, Hemi gets another 3 seconds, which puts him onto 6. Oh dear. Looks like Cacho Silva is span here. I think now's the time for Hemi to push as hard as he can. Only 3 laps left, but you can see Bashi is struggling on these in these conditions. I'd imagine everyone else is struggling as well. AN has 9 seconds of penalties, as well as playing cookie, so not doing great. Colette still on a 25 lap old tyres, and I think he may have messed his strategy up here, because he will lose points if May can get the overtake. He'll be out of the point zone. Unfortunate race for him. He started well. I think he just got the strategy slightly wrong. You're right, Paul isn't gaining, he's actually losing time. So honestly, I really don't even know what's going on. There's a complete mix of strategies here. Paul, I think he's made the wrong choice to go into that early. Giants definitely seem to be struggling, but I think they're fine for the end of the race. Very different strategies here. Colette obviously on 26 lap old mediums. Messed up the strategy slightly, especially with the rain, I think, ruining the race. As AN gets another 3 seconds, puts him on to 12. We'll go off the tyres now. We're going to penalties towards the end of the race. Hemi has made the 6-second gap to Bashi, as Bashi now loses position. These softs seem to be struggling. But yeah, Bashi is actually ahead at the moment, and will stay ahead. Bashi and Jericho just need to hang on here, because if they stay within 3 seconds of Folly, they should get P2 and 3. Folly just has to try and get enough of a gap on those medium tyres. What an interesting race. So we're on to the final lap. What an incredible race this has been. Very interesting qualifying. A couple of incidents in turn 1 with Bashi spinning out after being hit by Hemi. Bashi seems to let Jericho go. I'd imagine to try and get him a podium, but I wouldn't see why he would do that. Maybe he's just lost all his tyres. You can see the marks on the track now. We'll go with Jericho for now. So he tries to get into 3 seconds of Folly to claim P2. Just can't quite do it. No, I think Folly may have the P2. What an interesting race. And there we go. Hemi has won the Austrian Grand Prix. Folly in second. Jericho, and then Bashi. Quite a few drivers DNF'd this race, with so many different strategies. It's quite hard to keep track. Loads of drivers struggled with track limits during qualifying, and also struggled again during the race with track limits. You see a lot of penalties. Watch Paul here as he just passes the line. AN does snatch P10 even with 12 seconds of penalties, so must have caught a large enough gap. It was indeed a headache for strategy. Half the grid were on mediums, half were on softs, and then a couple into inters. So yeah, very interesting race indeed. There was a lot of fun to commentate. So, with the Williams driver of Hemi winning the race, congrats to him. Incredible race. He stayed P1 pretty much the whole time, so definitely has deserved this win. We do have Hemi in first, Folly in second, Jericho with the fastest lap in third, Bashi in fourth, PSC in fifth. The other Mercedes vote kick in sixth, Plain Cookie 7th, starting 19th and 20th, 6th and 7th, so very impressive there. Colette in 8th, May in 9th, AN in 10th, Paul 11th, Catcher Silver 12th. We'll scroll down here. PJRS, Gadouin. Yep. So 6 drivers DNF'd, both the McLarens, unfortunately, and Elvanides on lap 1. Not great there, but yeah. Great race overall, I think. Quite a few incidents, so I'm sure there'll be a few reports going on, especially the turn 1 incident with Bashi and Hemi. Gadouin, I think, retired on track, if I'm not mistaken, and a couple others I may not have seen. So thank you everyone for watching. It's been fun.